Natasha's rogue, weird watercolour for a controversial £40. Vet's Choice. Their plate camera snap up for £110.
Rory, Rufus, apparently your expert did something without your permission. Is this true?
No, we had no idea. She came back and was like, guys, we weren't happy.
Disaster.
It's fine. She knows what she's doing. Oh, well, we hope.
I mean, it's a really saleable commercial item.
Carry on digging. So, Rory, what's your favourite lot?
I think it's that one, to be honest.
Yeah, that's your favourite
As
lot.
much as it was bought for
Just-
I think that's that. I think it's
Rufus?
yeah, apart from this complete subterfuge, I would have to go with the painting. I feel like
Everybody likes the painting. That's great. What's going to make the biggest profit?
I think the door knocker.
The door knocker.
It's the door knocker. It's definitely a hinge.
That's wonderful. And how much did you spend?
£195.
£195. So I need 105.
It's for you.
£105. Natasha Raskin, this is your lucky day.
You're going to say this is your life.
No. What are you going to do?
So I think weird, novel, random.
Perfect for us.
Along those lines.
We expect you. Yeah.
Wonderful. So while Natasha goes off to look for something really weird, I'm off to another wonderful location. Nicknamed Mini Manhattan, the South London town of Croydon has always been pretty forward-thinking. And when it comes to aviation, this place once led the world. Good morning, Charlie Ross.
Colin Ockington, welcome to the world's first purpose-built air terminal.
Fantastic. Passenger flights from Croydon Aerodrome began around the turn of the 1920s, and with the completion of this fine building in 1928, it became London's main airport and customs point. Croydon to Paris Le Bourget was the world's busiest air route.
I think they were first
Largely, things are the same now as they were in 1928.
Yes, this area here was the booking hall. Down each of the walls on each side were the check-in desks. The average transit time would have been of the order of 20 minutes.
We'd have to do that nowadays, wouldn't we?
Wouldn't we just?
But you didn't have all the checks, didn't have customs and all that sort of stuff.
Yes, oh yes, all were carried out here in a very efficient manner.
Although the airport has now been closed to passenger flights for almost 60
There
years,
to be many flights.
the museum, tucked away beneath the old air control tower, is a fascinating record of a vanished age. And what have we got here?
Well, this is a handy page HP42.
I mean, it looks to me, with those struts things, a little bit Heath Robinson to me.
Well, no, I mean, it was state-of-the-art at the time. It was one of the very first aircraft that was built of metal.
Yeah.
Prior to that, aircraft were made of wood and fabric.
Yes.
And the fact that it had 4 engines as well was important, because that meant that even if 2 of the engines failed, the aircraft could still continue to fly. And Imperial Airways actually used that as a marketing ploy, saying that this was the safest aircraft that they'd ever flown, and nobody actually ever died while flying one of these.
Wonderful record. Interesting, you'd think, but not exactly comfortable. Because before the invention of pressurised cabins, you were likely to have
So here I have the
Oh yes, that one would be done.
seat made of just wicker and designed to be as light as possible because weight was a crucial element.
It's like a conservatory seat. It doesn't look like an aeroplane seat.
Absolutely
Right,
cool,
so
sir.
passenger comfort wasn't high on the list of design criteria.
You should pull that out.
In those days were actually
Up and
weighing
down.
themselves.
You wouldn't get away with that.
With air pressure.
Oh, no, you might not. But because if you had a heavy passenger on one side, you had to have an equally heavy passenger on the other side. Otherwise, the aircraft wasn't balanced.
Flying, of course, was only available to the very wealthy. With a 1925 return to Paris, clocking in at over £600 today's money. Mind you, it was all quite opulent.
And there's a picture of an aircraft which has actually been converted effectively into a restaurant with straps to hold the tablecloths in place and
the bottles, there's a sort of framework holding all the bottles.
that's it, to stop them falling over. It was certainly a rich man's pastime.
Especially when travelling further afield. And Croydon was at the centre of a rapidly expanding network.
So here we have a globe on which we've placed pins, and each of those pins represents a stopover, so staying in a hotel on the way. And you can see the distance to Australia, all the way down there. I mean, a simple trip to Baghdad would have been a 7-day operation, staying 6 nights in the hotel on the way.
Incredibly exciting.
Oh yes, it was almost a holiday.
Be a long time to get to Australia.
It's really a history of
Be about 3 days.
because it was the fun of opening up these routes and establishing all these stop-off points.
Paving the way for passengers were the record-breaking aviators of the 20s and 30s, with our aerodrome usually featuring in their headlines. So some of the most famous pilots of all time have used this airport.
Indeed, yes. So, Charles Lindbergh, of course, was the first man to fly solo across the Atlantic.
In the spirit of St. Louis.
Indeed, he actually landed originally in Paris and then eventually flew on to Croydon here. The press had announced his arrival, and as a result of that, the world and his wife turned up in
10,000 people, they say.
Indeed, that's right, yes. And they all swarmed onto the airfield and made a landing. A rather tricky business. Of course, the other very important person is Amy Johnson. Her claim to fame is that she managed to fly solo from Croydon Airport all the way to Australia, and it took her 19 and a half days to do so.
19 and a half days?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And she became a fashion icon as well.
But Croydon's greatest pioneers might well have been the backroom boys of air traffic control. Under the leadership of Fred and Mockford, they introduced life-saving innovations like radio position fixing.
Where those lines cross
Yes?
is the location of the aircraft.
I'm over Brighton.
Yes, indeed.
And even came up with the word which replaced SOS.
One thing that was tried here at Croydon was the use of the word Mayday as an international distress call.
Mayday, Mayday. Where does that come from?
Well, it comes from the French Mayday, help me.
Oh, right. Aidez-moi. Mayday. I've got it.
Well done.
And that was instigated here.
And became internationally recognised and is still used today.
But having led the way for so many years, after World War II, Croydon began to lose its status as London's international airport. Hemmed in by housing and light industry, the runways were no longer suitable for the latest airliners, and after the final passenger flight in 1959, the tide advanced still further. And now this small piece of tarmac in Ramshaw Park is all that's left of Croydon's historic runways. I wonder if things are going to take off at the auction. A mere stone's throw from Croydon, we've come to Catherine Southern's auction room. Catherine, hello.
Thank you for coming.
Well, the red team were under the guiding hand of Mr. Thomas Plant,
Always good.
and they've come up with these items. What do you think?
I do like the art. I love
Yeah.
this closet made art. It's beautiful colours, nice bright colours.
Yeah.
The good thing is it's Chinese. The bad thing is it's late. It's modern.
Yeah, it is modern.
But it speaks to you, and I think it's rather attractive.
What about this one?
Well, the thing is that I don't think these ever make as much as they should do.
No.
But I've put 80 to 120. Is that too much?
Well, I think that's really generous. I mean, they paid 110. They paid all the money.
They did
but
pay
you're
the
up
money.
there with the estimate. My favourite item, actually, are the labels.
Well, funny you should say that because they're mine too. They are stunning.
Aren't they wonderful?
They're gilt metal, they're Swedish, but there's lovely embossed gates on the front of them. I believe the gates are from Club 21 Manhattan, so how cool is that, Charlie?
Well, I mean, if that's the case, they could really motor.
Well, they could.
What sort of
but
estimate have you got?
I put 30 to 40, which actually is a bit mean, but I think that's a bit of a come and buy me because I think they're pretty stylish.
Well, they'll be quite pleased with that. They paid 30.
I
They're
think,
going to do all right, aren't
yeah, I think they're really nice.
Yeah. And what about the mask?
I don't think there's a lot of age to that. 30 to 50 pounds.
Very good. £20 paid.
Where is he buying this? It's very good.
Now, of course, they might need their bonus buy. Let's have a look at it. So you had a good shop, didn't you?
We did. We had a very
And you
good
spent
shop.
a reasonable amount of money.
We did.
Yeah, £160.
Yeah.
Leaving that man with 140.
You know, I wanted you to buy this.
It
I thought you would.
It is the Royal Navy catapult container.
Lovely.
That's my favourite, wasn't it?
It was, you really liked this, didn't you?
I
Well,
hated
no, the
it.
aircraft.
No home should be without one.
Yeah.
Wow. Doesn't look in the best condition. I don't know. It just looks like something you'd find in a loft.
It's 1939, it's a bit of militaria, it's naval, it's interesting. I had 140 pounds. It didn't cost 140 pounds.
Yeah, just for that.
Yeah, that's right then.
How much? 28 pounds.
Ooh,
Okay, that's not too bad.
got a bit of credit there.
We might listen to you.
Happy with that?
Yeah.
Well, that's the old views on it. Let's see what the auctioneer thinks about it.
You think
Well,
I might
it
think
is.
so?
It's unusual, Catherine.
Well, you can say that again.
Do you even know what it is?
No.
No, it's dated 1939. Estimate? knocker.
What is lovely about this is that it's an animal. It's not a lion. You often get the lions, but it's
Yes.
a panther.
It is.
And I like that. I think that's quite exciting.
Very good. What's it worth?
40 to 60 pounds?
Yeah, £45 paid.
Well, there you go.
What do you think of this rare work of art?
It's very primitive. I think, shall we say, limited market.
Yes.
But I suppose it's comical. People like a bit of
Yeah, it's
comedy.
very fine.
Maybe 20 to 30 pounds. It's just not got the quality
You
there.
paid £40 for it.
Yeah, I'm not so sure on that. That doesn't do it for me.
Time will tell. Shall we move swiftly off the camera? What do you think?
We've had quite a bit of interest in this. Yes.
It's visually splendid,
It
isn't it?
does look visually splendid. It's a good name, Sanderson, and I think we might be surprised on that.
What sort of value have they put on it?
40 to
70,
60.
Paid
a little bit more.
110.
Oh, did they?
Okay,
Right,
okay.
It
okay.
seems to me quite at the steep end there. Well, if it doesn't go to the top end of the estimate, they might need their bonus buy. Let's have a look at it.
Well, I bet you thought I was going to buy a brooch.
Absolutely.
Because we looked at brooches, but I didn't.
My
I
God.
bought you something quirky and exciting. Your little friend pulling his rickshaw. It's a crude set. Is something you'd have in your flat, a crude set?
I mean, if it looked like that,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, absolutely.
You like it? It's quite cool.
Awesome.
It's quite unusual. Let me hand it over to you. It's not silver. It's white metal, shall we say, silver plated. And it does have a little note on it saying, made in China. It's quite handy because we know, therefore, it's Chinese. And it's quite modern. And it's quite good fun. What do you think of it? It was so nicely.
I think it's great. I think it's beautiful.
I think it's got real appeal. Not antique, but not made yesterday.
How much you pay for it?
How much do you think I paid for it?
30, 40?
30, 40?
Factory for
25.